Hey gamers, this is Sherlog, and this is another Dwarf Fortress Let's Play. I'm also known as Stryth on the LL forum, so if you guys are coming from Lulinks, hey, I appreciate it, guys. Hope you guys have fun with this game. It's really an incredible game, so let's go ahead and load up onto our fortress. I'm going to be going through a little bit more of the details, but I will say that this is my third time recording because I've had some recording issues, so I'm a little upset with that. But yeah, we're going to take a look at the Dwarf Fortress. I'm going to go more into detail about how you guys can get better at Dwarf Fortress. This isn't so much of a let's play as a much of a let's help each other, let's teach, let me explain the game a little bit better to you guys. So since last video you guys saw, I've made some changes to the fortress. I've moved a lot of my stockpiles that were upstairs, and I've moved them into a downstairs area, which is a more appropriate stockpile location. And that's okay, I'm happy with that. But I just wanted to kind of explain some of the things and the way I play. And I'll tell you, the way I play is mostly using three things. The game itself, Dwarf Fortress, Dwarf Therapist, which is an external program that's incredibly popular and incredibly useful. It's a must-have for this game. And then finally, the Dwarf Fortress Wiki. And I apologize, my voice kind of hurts. Like I said, this is like the third time I've recorded a video for this, and I've had recording issues, and I'm really upset about that. Regardless, let's go ahead and get to this play, and hopefully have some fun. I have kept my lumber stocks up here. As you guys will see at the bottom left corner of the fortress, you'll see stockpiles here of adder logs, and I'm pretty set on wood, I would say, wouldn't you guys? So I don't really need to make any more wood products, but I will say that I do need to maybe queue up some of those wood products. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down into my carpentry here, and we're at the carpenter's workshop, and we're going to press Q to queue up stuff, and we're going to go to it, we're going to press A to add, and what do I need? Well, let's see. I could definitely use some wooden buckles, shields, maybe some training weapons, because eventually I'm going to have to start up a militia, and they're going to need something to train with. And I don't want to train with expensive stuff. But let's go ahead and make some barrels. Barrels are always important because they basically make it. You take up a lot more. Without the barrels, you take up a lot more space. And I just figured out what my problem was. I've been pressing the minus button to scroll down stuff, and what ends up happening is I end up stopping the recording. So let me fix that real quick. All right, there we go. That should fix it. Okay, so barrels are going to be important, like I was saying. You need them to basically make it so that your stockpile isn't filled to the brim. It definitely helps a lot with that. So I'm going to definitely build some more barrels. We have plenty of wood to use, but also we need more ammunition because recently I just ran out of ammunition. Now, if you don't know where something is built, and I understand that can be kind of complicated, it's best to look it up on the wiki and see where it's built. Because, for example, I would have never known that ammunition was built at the Craft Dwarf's workshop. How would you have ever known that, right? Unless you look it up on the wiki. So I'm going to add a task, and we're going to go to wood, because I want it made out of wood, and we're going to make bolts. So do that again, more bolts, more bolts, more bolts, more bolts. And in fact, let's go ahead and cancel that mug there. Well, we'll cancel these crafts. So, oh, whoops, that was an accident. Well, we canceled everything now. So let's make some bolts. And he is now going to start creating bolts, which is going to be good for our hunter. So our hunter can continue out making more money by killing stuff. So that's going to be kind of important. We also have a kitchen. And we have a constant annoying announcement that keeps popping up. I'll explain the announcements in a second. Those are definitely important. So let's go back up to the kitchen here. Kitchens are important. They basically make it so... Oh my god, stop it. Kitchens are important. They basically make it so that you can build or you can cook. And so that's really important. So what's happening here is my dwarf keeps running into walls that have water behind them. So he's really hesitant about building there, or about digging out that area, because he's afraid he's going to drown out the whole fortress. So the best thing for him to do, and so he stops, and that's understandable, and that's what he's doing. He keeps stopping. He's like, oh my god, I'm gonna there's damp stone, there could be water behind this rock if I dig it. And right now they're actually going back, and they're gonna put the stone that they just received into the stockpile. And there is our dwarf right there. Those dwarves right down there are carrying stuff to the ammunition stockpile here. I do believe that's the ammunition stockpile. Yes, ammo stockpile. And what's he doing? What are you doing here? What we got here? Oh, he's gonna. Okay, so he's crafting stuff. He's crafting furniture for me, I think. Or bins. Yes, bins. That's important. Bins are very important. Also, another important thing to have is a location where your dwarves can hang out. As you guys will see, my dwarves are hanging out here in the dining room. What I did is I put I put some tables and chairs down there, and then to make it so that basically it turns into a dining room, so it's a place where they meet, you would go to Q once again, and you'll select the table, and you'll sit meeting hall. Yes, you want to turn it into a meeting hall. Then you'll resize it and all that stuff. Now, like I said in my previous video, I am definitely not a Dwarf Fortress pro by any means. In fact, I'm pretty awful. So I do recommend that if you're really wanting to learn this game through YouTube videos, which is a good way to learn, but ultimately the best thing you could do is actually just sit down, play the game, and continuously reading through the Wikipedia. The Wikipedia is incredibly important for this game. As you guys saw in Night Dagger, he is I believe a veteran Dwarf Fortress player, is also part of the LL community. He emphasized on the wiki as well. So, I would keep it up with that. Definitely do that. Now, here is our... Okay. Bottom left corner, or bottom, you see he's created a masterpiece. So let's go to that. Let's go to... Where is he? He's created Atur... Let's see, who is that? Atur... whoever he is, he created a masterpiece. That is good. And I don't see him in my list here. So we'll continue looking through. No, we're into the... Nothing. Okay. Well, anyways, a masterpiece, each item, every item that you create has a value to it. These values can be typically used for trading. They can be used for increasing the value of a room. Nobles, they enjoy having a better room than the peasants. So you want to put the higher quality stuff in their room. Also, weapons could be higher quality, obviously. So that's another important thing. You want to make sure that you have your high quality weapons given out to your best dwarves. And what's interesting is your dwarves will actually create a relationship with their weapon. If their weapon gets a lot of kills, they'll even give it a name. So weapons are pretty important. They're pretty important. I just think that's really neat that they actually go throughout the process of giving their own weapon a name. You know what I'm saying? So let's take a look at a couple things that are really, really important. One is the announcements. If you press A, you can check throughout your announcements and you can zoom in on locations. Like I struck something. I struck a special, what's it called? I struck, let's go back to the announcements. I struck Hellador. It's a form of stone, but it must be my first time ever striking it or something. So it's kind of a big announcement. And that's something that I can look up on the wiki. I can look up what kind of that is. And finally, let's take a look at the stockpiles. If we press Z as in Zulu, you'll take a look at the stockpiles. And this is a very, very important screen to have. Basically, it shows you your wealth, how many weapons you have, how much wealth you have in weapons, armor and garb, stuff like that. And this is how much your fortress is worth, and it's really important. And you can also take a look at stockpiles. Stocks are very, very important. We can see, we can see that we have 100 plants. Okay, so we have plenty of food there. Prepared meals, we don't have too many, we only have 10. Drinks, 80. I like to keep my drinks at 100, so I'm probably going to go back and build some more drinks because that's going to be important. Seeds, I have 100 plus seeds. I should be planting these. I do believe seeds could maybe turn into alcohol and an ammunition. Well, that's obviously important for obvious reasons. And we definitely have more ammunition, so that's good there. So this is all important stuff. Also, let's press U, and you can take a look at each individual dwarf and what they're currently doing. So this is kind of interesting. We see he has no job. Okay, he's the soap maker. Well, if he's a soap maker and he has no job, maybe I should build a workshop that will utilize him a little bit. Or maybe I should give him another job to do something else while we're waiting. The beekeeper, no job. Well, once again, I probably should go collect some bees and work on making the beekeeper do a job. So this is kind of important here. It's definitely important if you want to know what someone's doing so that you can cancel something that they shouldn't be doing. So... Also, there's an exploration factor of this game, so I'm going to show you what I've been doing. I've been building now, if you guys look at the left corner here, I'm going to put my cursor over here. You'll see some stairs here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down, and you'll see that these are all 4 blinking. And we're going to go down again, and 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 again. And you guys will notice that I've been digging deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And oh my god, what did I hit? A cave. Isn't this amazing? Now let's explain the way the cave looks. Obviously, your dwarves can go into these caves for treasures, special ores, battle special monsters. There's also some fungus down here that we can maybe find out what it does using the wiki. And this is one of the cave systems. Now, I haven't really gotten a chance to explore it because I don't feel my dwarves are quite ready for it. The dangers of having the staircase is that monsters can now come out of the cave and up the staircase. That's kind of a scary thing, right? So we might want to set up some traps to protect our dwarves from getting killed down there. And, you know, I'm going to press... Now, remember that the arrows dictate the angle of the slope. So this is a downward slope. So if I go up, you'll notice that there's nothing there because it's a downward slope. But if I go down... see? So now we have another cave system that can go even farther. So very interesting stuff in the way that this is explored. You know, right now we're about 3 blocks above this water. So if we go down, and then we go down again, you see, now we're in the water. And it's water 7 of 7. That means it's 7 deep. It's a pretty deep water system. So our dwarves, if they go down here, they will for sure drown. That is not good at all. So, you know, the cave systems are really, really cool. If you guys are familiar with Minecraft, obviously, they have randomly generated caves. But let's go back up. And let's also talk about hotkeys. You can press hotkeys. You can set up hotkeys so that, you know, you can press F1, you'll go here, F2 will go here. That's what a hotkey does. Very interesting stuff. And lastly, let's take a look at the reports. Yes, because nothing says fun like reports. But really, in Dwarf Fortress, reports are incredible. They're actually very, very fun. So let's take a look at reports. Now, reports are a lot of the things that were happening in battle. Now, as you guys know, my hunter, she is fantastic, which I recently found out she was a girl. That threw me off. I couldn't believe she was a girl. But she got into a fight with a cougar. Now, let's just take a look at this fight with this cougar. This is where the randomly generated story kind of takes place, and like the battles are so incredible. They're very, very cool. So, you know, when I saw the cougar and the dwarf fight, it was just the cougar running away, stopping for a few seconds, getting its ass kicked, and then running off again, stopping for a few seconds, getting its ass kicked. But in reality, the cougar gives into the pain, and then he fell over and he lost consciousness. But then he regained consciousness and started running away. But it was too late because my dwarf had already caught up and shot him in the rear leg, which chipped the bone of his leg, which then a tendon had been torn. So the cougar was actually going slower, and then he gave away to pain again, and then he fell over. And there was this big epic fight between the cougar and the dwarf until finally the dwarf dominated the cougar, and now I have cougar leather. So, I mean, it's really interesting the way that these systems work in this game. You know, you'll notice I have some very complicated designs. I'll do a tutorial video on how to do some complicated designs for Dwarf Fortress to explain the system a little bit better. And, you know, let's see. I have a lot of beds, but I need some more doors. So let's go B and D, and let's place some doors down on these rooms. So we'll place one there. And actually, I only had one door, so that was it for that. I need to build more doors from my stockpile. So I'll go back up to my, let's go to my stone mason here. Let's go to my mason, and let's add some task, and we'll tell him to build some doors. And now, his next job will be going to there and building doors. And there you go. You see the mason. He's going there and building some doors. And yeah, so that's about it, guys. You know, like I said, one of the most important things in this game is to make sure that you're constantly keeping the wiki up, reading about it. You know, you don't know what a noble is, you don't know what they do, figure it out. You know, here's my noble sleeping in his room. What's this guy doing? He's the soap maker. Why is he in my noble room? This is not his bed. I can eventually claim that bed though for another dwarf. And also, yeah, you know, let's show you one more thing. Let's go to build bed. And I built a bed, and we're going to press enter to put it down. And now you'll notice I have a chestnut bed. That's all I have. I have one bed. Typically, the quality of the bed is put in like little symbols. Like, let's see. Let's go to the quality. Here we go. Now, typically, you'll notice little numbers or little ASCII symbols by the name. So, like little stars, equal signs, these little stars here. These all have basically how good the item is. If it's masterful, for example, if you have a masterful bed, you'll want to put that in a noble's room, or you may want to sell it. Artifacts obviously are extremely important. They have they're a unique name even, so that's kind of cool. But you know, for your masterful bedroom, you're going to want to put a really nice bedroom for your nobles. So you'll want to take when you have the choice to give them a bed, don't give them this shitty little chestnut bed. Give them a high quality bed because they're a noble. You want to keep your nobles happy. They need to be happy. And you'll notice that when you go on the website, it'll tell you the requirements for your certain nobles. We have all kinds of nobles here. We have a chief medical dwarf. I haven't even set that up. That's going to be important. I need to set that up soon. A manager, a sheriff, manager. That's going to be the next one I think I get. Sheriff, got to keep those dwarves in line, man. When the dwarves get out of hand, you got to just have the sheriff lay down the law. The militia commander, also going to be important. These are things I'm going to be working on as I go throughout the game. So, you know, let's see. Let's take a look here. Let's build, let's see, a weapon rack. Yeah, we'll do a weapon rack, and we'll put one here, and we'll just use the granite weapon rack, and we'll wait for our dwarves to put that there, and when they do, we'll go ahead and set up a barracks room there. So we're kind of just waiting there, and there he goes. Alright, so he's going to place it down. Thank you, good sir. I'm going to go over to the weapon rack. I'm going to press R to make this into an armory. I'm going to expand the room. I want this armory to be big for me. So press enter. And let's see, assign the room. Nah, it doesn't need to be assigned to anybody. It's a barracks room. And we can even give it a name. So we'll call it the Blood Pit. For training. Oh, never mind. That's as far as we can go. So, yes. So now we have basically a barracks room. What else do we want to set up? We're going to need an armor stand we're going to need some more armor stands. So let's put up some more armor stands. I'm not sure how many we need. Maybe we don't need that many. I don't know. Let's take a look here. Okay. Well, we're going to need some weapons. So let's build some training weapons. So let's go to our woodworker here and add new task. And let's see, does he have anything that we can do for training weapons? No. But he does have some wooden shields and wooden bucklers. So why don't we do that? We'll build some bucklers. And there we go. So now he's going to be making some buckler stuff. And we're going to make a weapons stock pit. So let's go down here. Let's press P, and let's see, ammo. No, you know what? I'm sorry. Yeah, weapons, P. And we'll make our weapons stock pit, you know, right here, into the teeth of the skull here, in our jacked up skull. And right here, and now we have a place where the weapons will go. So, you know, another thing is we're gonna need a metal worker. So I've been having issues with that. Here's what I'm not quite sure I understand. I'm gonna have to look this up. But like for example, let's build workshop and metal worker, metal forge. And it says need a fire safe anvil. Well, I thought I had an anvil. I thought I had a steel anvil, but for some reason that is not the case. So we're going to have to figure out something else to do. So maybe let's go and take a look at what we can build and maybe create some more bolts and ammunition. Maybe create something else that doesn't require metal just for the time being until we can get an actual anvil. An anvil is kind of important. You kind of want to have that in the beginning, but I chose not to because I figured I could trade for it. And I thought I had traded for it, but the game says nay. So somewhere in the line something got jacked up. But that's Dwarf Fortress for you. It's a learning process. This is kind of interesting. You can see the moss growing across the caves. You know, let's look up cave moss. What's it do? So cave moss. And cave moss is a particular grass-like. Animals such as cows or yaks can be designated to graze on it, so that's kind of neat. So we could have you know, cattle underground grazing on cave moss, but we don't really need that. We have an outside for that. That's where we're going to keep them. And so, you know, I'm kind of showing you guys a little bit, but let's talk about some of the utilities I used for this game. Some of the utilities you must learn to use. For one, if you guys have the Lazy Noob Pack, this is incredible. I would go to your utilities and just explore them all. But the first one is definitely going to be Dwarf Therapist. This thing is so important. Dwarf Therapist is a nice organizational tool that you can use to organize your dwarves and make sure that they're happy and stuff like that. So, you know, dwarves, you want to keep them happy. So we can take a look. You know, the gym setter, if we go to his happiness tab, it says that he's happy. Yeah, he's got happiness. He's happy. Okay, cool. So, you know, and if you want to learn how to make your dwarves happy, you know, look on the wiki. It's typically you need a bed. They want a place where they can sleep. They need alcohol. They need food. That's what keeps your dwarves happy. That's important. And then finally, you know, look at all these jobs here. We have woodcutter, crossbow making, carpentry, masonry, and off to the left here, you'll see that your dwarves, what they do. Here's our bookkeeper, our carpenters, our gym setters. And if you want to have them designate to do a different job, what you can do is you can select the dwarf, or you can select the whole group of dwarves, and you can, you know, choose to turn off carpentry and turn on wood cutting. So now they'll go cut wood instead of carpentry, but we don't want that for now. We want to keep it the way it is. Or you can do individuals. Like I can make this dwarf do, I can make Erdim Erlavabak. I can make them do wood cutting and crossbow making, but we're going to turn that off for now. And it's good to go through here and kind of set this up a little bit better. Like, for example, all this hauling isn't really something you want all your dwarves doing. You only want specific dwarves, like peasants or people that don't have important jobs hauling. You don't want your dwarves that have important jobs to be hauling, because if they're hauling, they're not doing their job. So you want to turn some of this stuff off. So, like, for example, let's go to our carpentry. Well, let's go him. And let's see here. Whoops, I'm making some mistakes here. We'll click on him, and you know what? We're going to turn off hauling for him. But we'll turn on wood hauling. But we'll turn off everything else, because why is he hauling stuff that when he could be doing a job? You know what I'm saying? We don't want him getting sidetracked, so that's important. So then we'll set, okay, commit pending changes. So now that dwarf will no longer worry about hauling stuff. You can worry about your other dwarves doing that. That's important. So that's a really, really useful tool. I definitely recommend taking a look at it, and it's great for making customized professions so that you can group your dwarves appropriately. Another tool that is kind of fun, I'm going to just show it to you guys real quick, is, well, Quick Fort and Chroma Fort. I'll explain those later. They're very, very awesome tools for making cool designs like this. I use those to make very cool designs, but they're a little complicated on how to use. And if you didn't read the forum, you're not going to understand it really. But let's take a look at, let's see here. Stone Sense. Okay, so we'll double click that, and we'll open this up. And I want you guys to take a look at this. This is very neat. Ah, what? Yes, Dwarf Fortress in 3 dimensions. Oh my god. Let's go down one, or up one, excuse me. And isn't that neat? Now, this is live, so if I activate my game here, you'll notice on screen that they're moving and they're updating. And you know, you can even see the little still here. Very, very, very neat. Isn't that very cool? I just love that. I just think that's the coolest thing. And let's go down. Let's keep going down. Continue going down. And oh, look at that. Ah. See, that's the cave. So it gives a little bit of a better layout of the cave on how it works. See? Ah, very cool, huh? So, yes, that is Dwarf Fortress in 3D. You can't really play through this, but it is a very neat utility if you're just kind of curious about what your Dwarf Fortress looks like, or if you just want to take pictures and stuff and you want to have like a 3-dimensional look for it. Very, very neat stuff. All right, guys, this is Sherlog. I hope that was a little bit helpful to you today. I'll continue showing off a little bit more Let's Plays. Maybe next time I'll get more into the military aspect of it and the exploration aspect as we go deeper into this cave and try to find special gems and stuff. But for now, that's going to be it, guys. I hope you guys had fun with me, and I'll see you guys around. And this is Sherlog once again. If you guys are on the Lulinks forums, give me a shout out. I want to give you guys a shout out, but I hope you guys say hi. My name is Strythan on there, and I'll see you guys around. All right, later, guys.